Welcome, and thank you for joining me on this journey of mastering relaxation. This is a yin yoga practice for anxiety and stress. Meet your body where it is today. If any of the poses that are done today do not serve your body, skip, modify, or find a different variation of it. In today's practice, we will be using 2 blocks, a bolster, and you can grab any other props that you feel that you may need. I invite you to put on loose, comfortable clothing so your body won't feel restricted and you can completely relax in these postures. And remember, your body is the guru. Honor and listen to it. Let's begin seated on the calves or an easy seated pose. You can soften your gaze or close your eyes. Just take a moment to ground and find stillness and begin to quiet the mind and the body. Scan your body and see if there's anywhere where you can start to release tension. Let's begin in child's pose. You can take a child's pose with or without props. Bring the big toes to touch, take the knees out wide, sink the hips towards the heels. Then when you find your exhalation, melt the chest and the upper body forward. And if you're not using props, the forehead rests on the ground, a block, or a blanket. Soften the back body, allow the hips to grow heavy. Feel a grounding down as you allow the mind and the body to find calm and quiet. Yin invites you to create space for yourself from a day that's filled with a lot of stimulus. Begin to distance yourself in your mind from to-do lists, from situations, experiences, and find peaceful solitude where you can begin to draw inward and visit with yourself. If you're lying on the bolster, lift the head and switch to lie on the opposite cheek. Push into the hands and the forearms to release child's pose. If you were using props, set your props off to the side. Come to lie flat on the stomach. Let's move into Sphinx pose. Grab a hold of opposite elbows, making sure that the elbows are stacked under the shoulders and that the elbows are shoulders distance apart. Send the forearms forward with the fingertips pointed forward. Draw the shoulder heads back and down. Tilt the chin down. Take a wiggle in the hips, making sure that you're not clenching the glutes. Relax the toes, the calves, the upper legs. Stress and anxiety is usually created by focusing on the things that we can't control. When we take a slow practice like yin, it helps us to dissolve the stress and anxiety by focus on what we can actually control, which is ourselves. We focus on ourselves in this practice. We focus on how we're breathing. We focus on where our thoughts go, focus on the sensations on our body. A practice like yin helps us to focus on letting go. You can hold it still in Sphinx or bring in a neck stretch by bringing the chin down towards the chest, bringing one ear to one shoulder, sending the chin down through center, and then taking the opposite ear to the opposite shoulder. Just moving the neck back and forth, stretching into the back and sides of the neck for a few rounds. If you want to take this gentle back bend a bit deeper, you can bring the hands to the top corners of the mat a little bit in front of the shoulders and come up into seal pose. Send the chest down to release. Let's take half frog pose. Draw the left knee up towards the shoulder, making a 90-degree angle with your knee. The knee and the left ankle are aligned. Make sure to square your hips, so move that left hip down. Then when you found your position, settle in and rest on your chin, or you can rest on your cheek. Soften the hips. Make sure you're not holding any tension anywhere else in the body. Take an inhale to release this pose. Bring the left leg straight behind you and draw the right knee in towards the right shoulder, moving into half frog on the second side. Take a nice deep breath in to release. Come onto all fours. Spread the fingers wide. Tuck the back toes under. Push into the hands and send the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Keep a bend in the knees, send the chest towards the legs. Pedal out through your legs to get a stretch in the back body. And then take both of the heels over to the left. Bend and straighten the legs deeply to stretch into the right side of the body. Bring the heels back to center, and then take both of the heels over to the right, bending and straightening the legs. Come back to center. Let's prepare for pigeon pose. Take an inhale as you draw the right knee forward to the inner right wrist. You can bring the shin parallel to the front of your mat, or bring the heel a little bit closer to the hips depending on how open or tight the hips are. Draw the right hip back and the left hip forward, and place a block under the front hip if needed. Untuck the left toes, coming flat on the foot, and lengthen the spine and draw your shoulders down. Send the sternum, the middle of your chest forward to lengthen the spine. When you find your exhalation, you'll hinge and fold forward over the front leg. You can relax the forehead on stacked fists, a block, or a blanket. Relax your back and your shoulders. Scan from head to toe, making sure you're not clenching or holding anywhere else. Take an inhale to release. Set any props used off to the side. Push into the hands and push back into downward facing dog. Pedal out through the legs to release. Let's prepare for pigeon on the second side. Draw the left knee and shin forward. Flex the left toes. This activates your shin to protect the knee. Use the right toes to move the right knee back. Untuck the right toes. Square the hips. Pull the left hip back and the right hip forward. Push into the ground with the hands and lengthen your spine. And then use an exhalation to melt forward. Soften the upper body down and make sure that the arms are not pushing into the ground to avoid sensation. Completely soften the hip. Let go of the whole body. going to inhale to release, push into the ground. Move the props off to the side. Push back into downward facing dog to release the hip. Lengthen your spine and take a pedal out through the legs. Release the knees down and come to a seated position. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall out to the side, making a diamond shape with the legs. We're going to move into a turtle pose. Take an inhale to lengthen the spine, and then on your exhalation, you'll hinge forward from the hips and allow the back to round and release the head down. You have the options to rest the arms by the legs or rest the hands right on top of the feet. To move deeper, you'll bring the arms under the calves. Allow the weight of the legs to rest on the arms, getting deeper into the band of tissue that runs from the outer hip down to the outer knee. Soften your whole body. Feel the release in the lower back and in the hips. Use your next inhalation to release and roll the upper body upright. Find your way into easy seated pose. And take a moment to roll out the shoulders, bringing the shoulder heads up by the ears and rolling them down and back a few times. And then we're going to take some Sufi rolls in one direction, circling the spine over the hips. Take a pause through center and send your Sufi rolls in the opposite direction. Release to find stillness. Take a moment to take in the state of the body. Feel the calm and peace that you've cultivated in your mind and in your body. Take an inhale to sweep the arms out, around, and up. The palms come to touch overhead. Land the palms on the forehead as a reminder that you are the master of your Zen. Palms come to rest at the lips as a reminder to communicate our truth with authenticity and kindness. Palms rest at the heart center as a reminder to know thyself and love thyself. Thank you for practicing with me. Peace and ease to you. If you enjoyed this session and it helped you, please share it with someone that it can help. Subscribe, like the video so that it will circulate, leave a comment so that we can connect, and hit that notification bell so that you'll be aware of when I post and we can practice together. Until next time.